Hello everybody, so this week is, what do you call it? Oh yeah, fictional worlds. My favorite. Um, yeah, so, in case you haven't noticed, I'm in a slightly different location today. It's because I'm at my dad's office, because I'm staying here for a week. Anyway, that's besides the point entirely. Anyway, fictional worlds are really, really, really interesting, and there's so many things I can say about them. And one of these days I might just sort of write an essay or something about just making fictional worlds, because they're just that damn cool. Um, the most important thing about a fictional world is that you cannot, you can never ever have a flat civilization. It's like having a flat character. Having a gimmick civilization. No gimmicks. Just never do gimmicks. Gimmicks are like the lamest thing. If the only thing that makes your fantasy world work, like the only thing that makes this, special culture Ooga versus special culture Booga, the only thing that makes special culture Ooga different is that they have black swords. That is lame, that is boring, and you can never have something set in there. And I'm encountering that right now as I'm working on Morphoria set. I'm working on a Wayfinders game I'm running, and I've realized that one of the 6 factions actually is just pretty gimmicky, and I'm having to go back and actually flesh them out more, because you cannot have characters set in a gimmicky society when the other societies have things like legislature and interculture strife and all these things that actually mark a culture, xenophobia, like the sort of things that make a culture interesting. This culture is just like, yeah, we worship something, we worship dead people, we're led by the mass lady, we made the toxic jungle. Not enough. There always needs to be more. You always, like, gimmicks are fine if you're using them to build off of something. If a certain culture's gimmick is that they're space Christians, build off of that. Add more to it. Give them more details, give them more sub-factions. Always have more to build off of, because building it is the most important key. That's just the biggest note for world building. Besides that, world background's always the most important thing, more important than a story or a plot. And always more details better. More detail is always better. Random little tiny details are better, because you're not trying to make a real world. You're not trying to build one with all the detail of the one we are in right now. You're trying to build a world that is something that people will believe, something passable. And it's okay if you need to have a couple little holes right there, like, oh, I don't know what's in this quadrant of the map. That's okay. You can flesh that out later if you need to. Because you have to walk a very nice line between having too much information and having overwhelming people with little cultural tidbits, and having too little information and making it look like a generic fantasy world. Yeah, like for example, you don't need to name every single town, but at the same time, you can't just be like, yeah, people live here. They don't have a culture. They're just peasant people or something. No, give them a little bit more detail. Always give enough detail. Okay, actually no. Here's a good rule. Give enough detail that if people needed to, they could go in there and make up a village without needing, like, always give enough detail that they can go in there and make up a village without needing to make up what species they are, make up what religion they are, how they dress, their culture. Without needing to make up their culture, give them the power to make a village there. Really that simple. Just enough details. Details, details, details. And now I'm just going to make a silly face at you until I pause this video, because world background is silly. Not actually. It's hugely important and incredibly fascinating. I've been spending the past several days learning a programming language just for a little tiny bit of, world background, because I'm just completely insane and I need to take my mind off of things. Alright, that's my video for today.